We've just heard there, far from stopping these attacks, the Houthis are vowing retaliation. It's clear from speaking to that man there, they've got no intention of following your action with the cessation of what they're doing in the Red Sea. What's given you the impression that this will make any difference?
Well, I would turn the question around the other way and say, well, look what's happened since the 19th of November. We've had 26 attacks on ships, not just ships heading to Israel or Israeli-linked ships, but ships of all kinds, and those attacks have been getting worse. We've given warning after warning. We've taken the case to the United Nations, had a very clear statement there about the importance of freedom of navigation, and yet the attacks continued. And in fact, one of the last attacks, which included HMS Diamond, the British destroyer, involved over 20 drones and missiles. So not acting is also a policy. It wasn't working, and it's right we sent this very clear, very unambiguous message that we are prepared to follow our words and warnings with actions.
But what makes you think it will actually stop the attacks? Because perhaps it might have been worth it as a punishment, but do you think it will actually stop a single thing?
Well, I think there are two things that it does. The first is it does degrade some of the Houthi capacity to launch these missiles and drones, and we'll obviously look at the assessment of that in the coming hours and days. But it also sends this very clear message that America and others, an alliance of countries backing this action, an alliance of countries including Britain taking part in this action, but also including countries like the Netherlands and Canada and Australia, are prepared to take action backing their words. And I think that's very important.
And are you prepared to keep going? If the strikes keep happening and America keeps asking, will you keep going?
Well, we are prepared to back our words with actions. That is what the Houthis need to know, and that I think is the right thing to do.
Without limit?
No. Look, of course, we look at all of these things very carefully, and I want to sort of make the point, it's quite interesting going back into government and watching this Prime Minister, who is very meticulous and careful and looks at every question. Are there alternatives? Has every other policy been exhausted? Have we consulted with colleagues? Are we looking at the effect on the region? I mean, he goes into every detail in completely the right way, but then is a strong and determined leader who wants to take the right action to try and stop these appalling attacks from happening. And that's the way he will approach it, and I think that's entirely right.